Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a tarot-intuitive story for you if you have Pisces anywhere in your chart or you're a cross-watcher. We have a story today with 3 decks of cards, the Zen Tarot, the Light Seers Tarot and the Cosmic Creatures. And we start out with this pairing. You come out as the fish. You come out here in this story as a little fish. So it could have been you as a child, or you could have been just a rookie in some environment, or new, or just younger than this one that you're being paired with in the reading. This could have been a parent, sibling, boss, some authority figure, depending on when the story has been playing out in your life. You come out as kind of small, and this one comes out as angry. So that's sort of the pairing that starts out the reading. And you being this little fishy, and of course being rightfully so scared of this one, I see you dealing with the situation with a lot of fear and flight reactions. I see this one as somebody trying to escape as fast as possible, or maybe you just did escape out of that situation, pairing with this panther that was really scary and angry. And you come out with the moment-to-moment card, with this person sort of jumping from stone to stone with their eyes closed, telling me that when you were in a situation with this one, you acted by instinct. That was sort of how you got through it, by acting on instinct, because well, maybe because you were a child, or maybe or just blinded by fear, I guess, because of their mannerisms. So I see you sort of in a flight situation, trying to escape that situation, or escape that person, and sort of just acting constantly, just out of not even thinking, just pure instinct. And so this panther comes out clarified by the Ace of Wands or the 5 of Wands. So yes, so it could have been a parent, or husband, wife, or boss, or something, and they come out with a lot of anger. So they come out with this fighting card, and with this card that usually is a great card, but today it just came out as I just saw this flame so clearly. It just looked to me like a person who just was ablaze in their mind, was really angry at something or somebody or the world, or had a terrible temper, or and might also have had this almost looks to me as something that could have also been physical, sort of guess an infection in the brain, or I mean, it could have at least turned out to have symptoms like that over time, because this panther comes out as somebody who is just angry as such, like always, and so maybe over time this became sort of a condition that was also manifested physically, but mainly, of course, it was just the way they were acting, reacting, behaving, thinking. And this fighting card, the 5 of Wands, it came out sort of like, I realized when I was looking at this card that they're fighting about the fire. I never saw that really in this card before. I was looking at some other things. So it's almost as if it comes out a little bit as if this panther was in a way fighting with others about who could be most angry, who could be most explosive, or just, it's like it was a fight about the anger itself, if that resonates or makes sense. It's almost as if they just, well, they were just, maybe at some point they forgot why they were angry or who they were angry at, and it was just about being angry all the time. So if you were, a little fish in this environment, it would have been really scary. And I feel like this water that you were swimming around in would have been sort of boiling maybe at some point. It's almost, you come out a little bit as with boiling frog syndrome, if you know that, which is it's an analogy based on the fact that if you take a frog and you throw it into boiling water, it'll jump right out. It has that instinct. But if you put it in water and you slowly cook it, it'll die, and it'll just it'll take it. And I think that you were sort of in that situation. You were a little bit put into this really, really over time very boiling water, but you still had the instinct to understand that this was not good, and that you had to run away from it. So you have incredible instincts. It's almost like, well, supernatural, I would say. But then, of course, because you're Pisces, so you would have, you knew something was wrong. So that other person, that Panther, also comes out with this Fool card that didn't look very positive to me today. It almost, because just for a flash when I saw this, it looked like this person was holding the Olympic fire. It is actually a bouquet of flowers, but just how it came out is that almost like they had gotten this fire, this anger, and just victoriously stepped over the precipice. As to say that this was a terrible prize to go for. They wanted to be the most angry person in the room, and they kind of won. And of course, that was their downfall. That was they sort of self-destructed. It came out a little bit as with that expression of being the richest man in the graveyard. Just spending your life trying to get something that is just pointless, yes, well, and I think they sort of, in a way, self-destructed. So this was an earlier situation in your life, and you come out at a later point very smartened up. Maybe because of what you went through with that person, you look like you're somebody who's smartened up, and you did escape out of it. You got on your bike and you went, and so I see you come out as the fox, which is just the smartening up energy. So and it could have just been the fact that you grew up, you grew older. So we now in the story meet you at a later time where you're no longer escaping, you're no longer trying to flee from something. At this point, you have gotten sort of more of a purpose. You're going for something, so you're still sort of on your way, but you're not desperately trying to get away from something. You're trying to get to something. You have gotten to that part of your life where you're trying to realize some goals, but it does. There is fire at the end of these sticks. These sticks are sort of the movement, your enthusiasm, your drive, but they also look a little bit. Well, they're on fire too. So, excuse me. So there is and under that comes out the fighting card, which I just lost on the floor. Here we go. So you sort of carry some of that anger with you from that earlier situation, and because you kind of got a little contaminated. especially if it was a parent, that panther was a parent or an authority figure or somebody who was sort of raising you or teaching you or whatever it was, just a big influence in your life. It would have been impossible to not get somehow contaminated by that incredibly angry energy they were carrying around. And also, you know, anger is incredibly contagious. So somehow you sort of caught some of it, or at least you got out of that situation with sort of an understanding that life is somewhere where you fight. Like you have to fight for things, you have to fight to get ahead, or you have to fight to just get through the day, or you have to fight, you know, in relationships. Or I don't mean like outright like two people fighting. I just mean like just not easy, just having to struggle for everything in life. That's sort of what you come out with. You come out with this feeling that sort of that's how you have to do things. But then with the things that you did do, the things that you've done in your life have been really beautiful. You know, you somehow managed to just bring a lot of adventure and beauty into your life. You come out with these three energies, the peacock and the Three of Wands and the traveling card. So because this, until I think recently, was subconscious. You didn't know that you were actually struggling for everything, and that your deeper belief about life was that everything is a struggle, or you have to fight for everything you've got, or it's an uphill battle, things like that. You had sort of some beliefs that you weren't aware of because you picked them up from that other person that had probably a very negative outlook. But you went ahead and you created your Pisces life. I see here that you've done some gorgeous, beautiful things. Maybe created beautiful art, or this comes out a little bit of sports, doing a lot of sports, traveling. You know, you've been doing some beautiful things. But this reading, what this reading wants, why it's coming up, is because it wants to point out. Spirit wants to point out this fighting belief of yours, because it has made you work way too hard. You come out with the beaver spirit, which is a really hard worker, and so you might have become sort of alcoholic. Well, you could, yes, well actually you could. I don't know why that came out. Must have been a reason. So you could have become that. You could have also become what I thought I was gonna say is workaholic, and or helpaholic, which is a trap a lot of Pisces fall into. That, you know, helping people a lot, so much that you kind of forget yourself, or that life is really a struggle in that way. And also that could very well be your livelihood, could be something about helping other people, and you've been maybe just doing it really a lot, because there's sort of no end to work. If life is a struggle, then just there's never a time when you've done enough, or where it's enough and you are enough and you don't have to do anymore, and where life is just beautiful. It's like you never really get to that, or you haven't gotten to it, because you've had to struggle, because that's what you learned. That's how you do it. So Spirit is here to say, Spirit is here because it wants to it wants you to let go of that. It wants you to leave it behind. Come out here with the Six of Swords. And if you see her, she looks like she's carrying a really heavy luggage here. And I really get this feeling that she's meant to throw it away, because you come out with the nothingness card after it, and it's like it's like Spirit saying, let go of that old baggage and just throw it into nothingness, because it's not yours. It's really not yours. It's not yours to carry. You are not meant to carry this much pain or struggle or old residues of somebody else's anger. So it does nothing for you. And it's meant to go into nothingness, because it really doesn't actually have anything to do with you. It has nothing to do with your nature, because your nature is, you should be a fish in water, and then this, they look like they're sort of the same. So excuse me, it's almost like, how Pisces is actually two fishes. So it looks to me like this is your deep, mysterious, sort of invisible to everybody else, mystical Pisces. And then you have this other really gorgeous side of you where you're able to really show yourself and be visible, or you would like to. And this reading is here to then say that that will be much more possible. You've been doing it a little, but you're gonna be really able to shine when you let go of this baggage that you're not meant to carry, and really it's about letting go. It's gonna help you to let go of that addiction of maybe, taking some substances or helping other people. And it actually comes out as those two being also sort of two sides of the same coin, which makes a lot of sense if you know about alcoholics and their relatives, and how that whole dynamic works, because it really works as two people working on each side of the addiction. So either way, it's really wanting to set you free. It wants to show you, or to tell you that you have that possibility, and it's almost like now you have that possibility. Maybe you had to carry it some of the way for some reason, but you don't anymore. It's not necessary anymore. And what it would like you to do, what it's proposing, is to actually to live from your enthusiasm, but without the struggle, so to speak, not without the fire, because of course fire is a really positive energy also, but it's like it just wants to say that you don't need to have that feeling that you have to struggle for it. You can leave some of the things up to Spirit. Spirit really wants to help, and it wants to help you understand that's actually not at all what your life is gonna be about, because it's gonna be about flow. That's really what wants to happen. And it also brings me back to this card, actually, that I feel that is the one that is really ending the reading, because it's almost as if you've been in some respect, you've been standing on the shore, waiting maybe for your break, or for some, it's almost like waiting for permission. You've been waiting for permission to go. Maybe because at an early age you were taught that you had to wait for permission. Maybe this was a really harsh authority figure. So you're sort of carrying that energy with you, that you have to wait for permission, and maybe thinking that Spirit is a little bit like that authority figure, but it's not at all. It's not at all. It's so much more loving. It's not angry. It doesn't want to punish you. It's not holding you back from anything. It wants to show you that you can let go of your burdens and surf the ocean and be free and be light, and that time has come and you're allowed to go. You are always allowed to go. That's actually, but you know, you can as soon as you, it's really just a question of releasing the idea of the permission, actually. That's kind of how it is, because um, that then the ocean is open to you and the horizon is open. So yes, so this was your reading, Pisces. I don't know if I feel like I kind of maybe messed it up a little bit at the end. I hope I didn't. I hope it made sense. All in all, it's a message from spirit about you not having to struggle anymore. And you know, you don't have to. Life is not meant to be a struggle. It's meant to be a flow. So, this was your reading, Pisces. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. And thank you for being here, and come back again soon. Bye, Pisces.